mix a lot of trauma, a lot of injuries, and a lot of mental illnesses. Some diagnosed by doctors, some I diagnosed myself, but that's another story. You get a pot of a bunch of foolishness, a pot of a mess, and that is me. Hi, I'm T, and I'm a mess. But my injuries from the military gave the doctors the reason to give me the medicine that I needed, so they say. My trauma was happy that the doctors gave me the medicine that I needed, and my mental illnesses made me believe that I wasn't taking enough. So I had to take more, and according to standards that made me an addict. So after I tried to fight the addiction with myself, I was like, you know what? This is not going to work. You're going to die. Your daughter's going to find you dead, or somebody else is going to find you dead, and you have so much more to fight for. So I said, you know what? I'm going to kill myself. That was my option. So I get on the ground and I get to rehab, and it was beautiful. I'm like, I'm in Florida. I'm going to be able to get a tan. I'm going to be able to swim in a pool, and, try this sober thing. It wasn't quite like that. It really wasn't. The outside was really cute. The lobby was really nice. The flowers were real. And then I got in that door that don't open until it's time for you to come back out. And behind the door, I felt like I walked onto the scene of one of my favorite shows, Orange is the New Black. And I was like, oh, man, so this is rehab. And I was like, this can't be real, right? And so when I looked around, I was like, okay, you're one of a handful of people that look like me, a handful of black folks. And I'm like, okay, so this is going to be an interesting experience all the way around. But then the door's locked. And I'm like, well, why the heck are they locking the doors? I asked my roommate, and she's like, oh, they're fighting. Oh, okay. When we're locked on the floor while they're fighting, right? And she's like, yeah, we're fine. Me through. And then my daughter, right? Because my daughter kept calling me. And she's like, Mom, they keep saying you wasn't there when I called. And she's like, but I told them I know my mom was there because you need to let me talk to her. And so when you look into a child's eyes, you have to say, you know what? For her, I have to do something different. And so I'm proud to say that I fought through my addiction, even though I laughed about rehab because everybody have their stories of rehab. We can all sit around and kind of chit-chat and laugh, but in the moment, it wasn't funny. And I also realized having a conversation with one of my neighbors there is that she told me I didn't look like an addict. And so even in a rehab situation, I had to be questioned of whether I was an addict enough to be there because I didn't look like an addict. And so my challenge is to everyone that's watching and listening that an addict doesn't have a look. An addiction is an addiction. It can be all kinds of addictions, and we're all human. We all deserve grace, and thank you for your time.